Welcome to another episode of the Trifactor podcast.
This podcast is for Trini football piongs and international ones, where we get to discuss all matters of football, both Trini and internationally.
If you are a football fanatic,
This is for you.
if you just stumble upon here by mistake,
Don't worry, God doesn't make mistakes. This is for you.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Most importantly, give us your feedback for future content that you might be interested in. On this week's episode,
Have FIFA referee Caleb Wales. How are you doing, sir?
Good night. I appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.
yeah,
Thanks.
our pleasure indeed. For sure.
So we in pod in a long time, so I fighting to add it for the first question.
Yes, always rush for the first question because you know you like to take the easy way out now. Let me deal with this one time. Caleb, you have any family from South? You don't have any South family, right?
He must have South family.
I'm not aware of my whole self.
Right. So this is our official note. Man who say you lost that one again. Thank you. Right.
Hey, boy.
You could go ahead and ask yourself questions now, boy.
Hey, boy. All right. Yeah. Don't worry. Hopefully, we can find somebody from South.
No. Don't take that bit. Good way.
So you're into refereeing now, but what we would like to know is, in terms of football, what sparked your interest? I don't think the first thing you would have loved is the refereeing aspect. What player or what tournament or what game sparked the interest in football?
Well, you're correct. As a child growing up, I always watch on TV every 4 years the World Cup. So
Yeah.
watching the big teams like Brazil, France, seeing Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo,
Yeah, the true one.
scoring goals, Zidane. So those things spark my interest, and
Yeah.
sport is a beautiful game. I mean, it can be played by everyone.
Mhm.
I had my hand in it a bit, trying
Right.
to play.
Brian?
So I hear I call some names there. What team can Window blast me? We support Trinidad, yes.
And Tobago. I'm told you.
Trinidad and Tobago.
All year
What-
it's him.
But what was your first team, international team or club team that you supported?
Well, I always like the favorites at the time was always Brazil.
Yeah.
I appreciate them. I kind of rotate through teams, and
Yeah.
you know, right now, as a looking back on the past,
Yeah.
those things are all distant, and I'm trying to be as
Yeah.
neutral as possible.
Oh yeah.
It has to be
I
as
guess,
neutral as
I guess that was a bad question to ask. Sorry.
No, I
You know
mean,
what? Let's
yeah,
start
you
with
have the
foundation
favorites
actually for one of my questions.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
have
don't
the
worry, we
favorites
will
and-
do that.
For now, I have to be neutral. I'm
Yeah.
team Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah.
all the way, but
Can't fight
after
that.
that, in the World Cup is team referees.
Yeah.
In terms of club, I could ask what club. What club do you support?
Even club had to be careful because
Oh, serious?
You never know where you could end up.
it's a FIFA World Cup, Club World
Club
Cup.
World Cup.
you know,
Right.
I get appointed and
Yeah.
I might
Correct.
against my favorite club, which is a real thing, eh? So it's just
Yeah,
have to be online and
We'll throw all that out the window.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
ask, who was your favorite player growing up?
well, I like a lot of players growing up. I mentioned already Ronaldo. And I always was fascinated with the English team. I like their drive to win, even though they come
They
close.
don't
but
win. They don't win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Regardless of what they believe that they will win, you know.
I was like the underdog story, so I was fascinated by their players and their determination, even though it's not winning, but
Yeah, they don't believe there's underdogs at all. That's true.
Also, Ade, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, all right. My question was really leading to that.
Yeah.
In terms of the things that you need to go through in terms of being a referee, right? Because you mentioned that you need to be neutral, you need to declare like any allegiances, quote unquote, and so forth. I mean, in international tournaments, it's generally easy, but what is required? What standards? Because I'm assuming there's supposed to be a degree of standard, like in terms of fitness, in terms of experience, etc. What are your requirements as a FIFA refereeing within CONCACAF and internationally?
And the main requirement for any referee is fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the level of fitness required will vary depending on which level they're officiating at. But
Okay.
any referee will aspire to the highest level of fitness possible. And I'm saying this because, traditionally referees tend to be seen as maybe overweight and older guys.
Yeah.
But that is a traditional thing.
That's why you see you was thinking it as a career path.
Yeah.
Never.
What is happening now? What is happening now? The game is getting quicker. And you have to
Right.
keep
For
up.
sure. For sure.
So now they are looking for young, fit referees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now is the time as a child, if you're looking for a career path that may not be as bright as a star player, you could always look towards being a world-class referee.
Right.
So when you say
Well,
fitness,
I mean, if the players can't drink beer and thing no more, what do you think the referee ought to do? Same thing.
no, but
Same
when they say
thing.
fitness, like his beep test they're using, what was the standard? What's the standard?
Over the years, the test is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we use variations of the beep test,
Mm-hmm.
which will simulate what is going on in the game. A lot of sprinting, change of direction, stop and go. There is variations. There's one for the referee. We call it the yo-yo test.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one for the assistant referee, which is the assistant referee intermittent endurance test. That is similar to the yo-yo test, except you have a lot of shuffling side to side, which you see is the similar movement.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's our base movement.
Yeah. So they always evolving new tests. I mean, the standard fitness test is 10 laps around the track, but at a tempo. You have to run 15 seconds, rest for 50 seconds, run 50 seconds again.
Okay, shuttle intervals.
Times.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So paging all athletes, there's a career path in your.
Nah, I could do that, man. I feel like I could do that.
How fast are you, Caleb? Use the referee that are running players on them clip and thing.
I like to think I'm pretty fast. I'm trying to maintain my speed, but as age come kicking, you realize.
Yeah, there's one race we can't win, boy. Woo! It's that race against time. It's hard to win that one.
Nah, you keep forgetting players young, and them players be young, boy.
Yeah, those players are young and quick, so you have to do your best. And then when you can't make up in speed, you make up in experience and intelligence.
Yeah. Right. How long you refereeing? You say over the years. So how long you refereeing?
I have been refereeing since 2006.
Okay.
So the moment I left CIC, I went into UE. I did a refereeing course, and I started my refereeing journey at 2006.
But Caleb, if I could just interject and ask, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no shade or anything. Why?
Okay, well, I have been around refereeing before I started.
Okay.
My father was a referee.
Oh.
Around referees, and even watching football growing up, I will ask questions about the rules, and I was always fascinated about the rules and its application. So I was always, even though I've been refereeing for 60 years officially, I could say I've been doing it for a great portion of my life because I've been around and involved and seeing the workings of it. So that's how I got my start, and I stuck with it ever since.
So let me ask this question. You couldn't really talk about a favorite player, but you could identify like a favorite referee that you had growing up, a mentor.
Yeah, obviously, the most famous referee you could think of is Pierluigi Collina. That's the Italian guy, the ball head. Famous. Everyone will always, when they think of a referee, they'll always think of him. I always admire. I used to watch a lot of EPL. So I like Howard Webb back in the days when he was active. I admire his intelligence, his strength. I mean, he's a strong looking guy.
Yes.
And he did finals. Also Mark Clattenburg. I also look at the World Cup. I like to see the African referees. They perform. They tend to exhibit a lot of fitness and running ability, which makes them naturally.
They are foundational skill.
It's all part of the training and hard work.
Yeah.
So I always admire these fit guys, and that's what I aspire to become.
So when you start, did you you already had in mind that you were going to pursue this all the way, or was it you're testing the water and thing?
And see how it goes.
It's always a test. It's always a test. I mean, you always had the dream of being in a World Cup, and for me, the easiest part would have been sticking it out as a referee and not trying to be as a player, or maybe some other means. I mean, as a fan as possible as well. But for me, I like the part of being on the field and experiencing and administrating the game. Just a sidetrack. I'm also specialized as an assistant referee. So the guys in the middle. My specialization ever since about 2010 has been assistant referee. So I've been doing that full time for about 12 years. But I am specialized in that AR. We call it AR, which is assistant referee, and that's for offside and those things.
Okay. What make you choose that though? I mean, you're just because I know thinking I say, but I can't remember seeing much games with you in the middle, but I know I see you run lines all the time.
Right. So that is my specialization. That is why it just came naturally. I started doing it and I liked it. I have done games in the middle in the past, but for me, I just like the logical nature of offside and ball in and out of play and assisting the referee in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, somebody has to do it. So I kind of lean towards that side.
Okay. I have a next question on something like that later on, right? But we'll get to that.
The hardest thing to get sometime in a fit match is somebody to line just boy. Trust me. You're begging for man. Hey, come that way, somebody from outside take what.
That's why the man is specialized. He know it have a need.
Boy,
it have a need.
It always have a need for assistant referee.
It always have a need.
Have a need for everything.
So in terms of the part, if somebody wanted to get into refereeing and pursue that, right? So you say it started in 2006, did a course, and then did you get local matches to do? Was it amateur matches?
What was the progression like?
So in Trinidad, Tobago football, there are zonal football, and that might be the lowest level of official football.
Right.
I mean, there are FET matches and those things, but in terms of official football, we look at down in the zones. In Trinidad and Tobago, you have the East Zone, the North Zone, South Zone, Tobago, and I believe there's one or two others, Central and so forth. And those zones had competitions running regularly. Was semi-pro or amateur, and those were the games they will give you the most. Sometimes they'll have youth tournaments. Republic Bank had a tournament, and now they have like under 20 and these things. So you can try your hand. They usually should just throw you in the fire. They just say, well, now you're a referee, now you have some training. Go. It used to be on your own a lot, but it's good to have that guidance and people who've been there and to show you the ropes.
So what would you say is it was like your first like big game? Like you're like, wait now, why are you really doing here? You ever had a game like that? Which game was for you?
It always happens, because it always happens because just last year I find myself in USA, Mexico. And you know you have the imposter syndrome. What I do?
Yeah.
It's something you work over the years to achieve. And even in the earlies, I remember a game in the Arango Savannah. I can't remember the teams, but it's usually at those days you have two referees. You have the main referee, the senior referee, and the junior. And then the final club person for the third, because we up to this day have a shortage of referees. So
that's a question I had asked.
They might have two referees, and then I remember halfway through the game, the referee said he had to go.
That sounds familiar.
And he's like, yeah, you can do it. I'm like, okay. That's how I get through it. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
Let's do this. But
Yeah.
it develops a lot. It develops some confidence and these things. I mean, after years of doing it, they just realize,
It is.
It's a part of the process.
Oh my God.
So I know in England and in the States, they complain that there are a lot of people that don't really, or even if they started along the getting involved in refereeing, they stop due to like abuse from the crowd and things like that. How major is that a factor for us locally? And I mean, well, I have the segue into our next question, but let me just let you deal with that question first before I continue.
It's a factor for referees all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you see, I mean, Trinidad probably having nice because the incidents compared to those we see in Brazil and Argentina, where the sport were much more passionate. You know, people might pull out a projectile weapon and get shots and.
You see, like party tree, you see projectile weapon, so you do it party tree. No, you say good.
Yeah, you know, it could be anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that is real, is a threat that is always over your head.
Mm-hmm.
In Trinidad, you get your little cuss up, you get your little abuse, but after a while, you know, some of those things you could live with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nice, and it does discourage a lot of referees. I mean, some people come in and say, "What are they doing this for?" And if the treatment is not good, I can't blame them for dropping out. So, you know, if I will encourage people to be nicer to referees, to encourage them, because
it's a hard job. It's a hard job.
Hard work, and it is a necessary job.
Mm-hmm.
And you only realize when you had to do it. So,
right. So my next question is, right, I can't, and you being more involved in the fraternity, you would be able to kind of correct this if I'm wrong, but I can't remember, it's you and Ramesh Ramdan, I think, are the only two local referees I know that would have like been involved in World Cups, etc. And the reason I'm asking this question, and I don't want you to address this specifically, right? But my perception, I seen me, right? Especially like in CONCACAF tournaments, I was find like the Caribbean teams was get kind of harsher treatment from like some of the, for example, Central American referees. Up this week here, like a few minutes ago, I was watching that and I was like, but wait now, why we don't have more referees at that level, right? And as I say, I could only think of you and Mr. Ramdan. I don't know if I'm wrong, if others, but what was the feedback there? Yeah, right. And I knew it had somebody I missed.
So yeah, at the senior men's World Cup level, I am the fifth to be appointed.
Fifth, okay.
Fifth referee from Trinidad and Tobago. I am the fourth assistant referee. So in the past we had Michael Douglas. Then we had Ramesh Ramdan, and with Ramesh Ramdan there was Mareri Louis Gonzalez was his assistant, and Michael Ragunath, and that was 2002. And I believe 20 years later, I'm the first to be nominated since his time.
Wow!
Wait, it's 20 years already?
20 years.
A real old boy, Lord.
The last one was 2002 with Michael Ragunath in Korea.
Wow!
And I just speak about the men's senior World Cup.
Okay.
Other World Cups that are in existence, there are youth World Cups, there are women World Cup. And we have had Trinidad representatives at those World Cups. But the only ones that comes to media attention and not is the senior men's World Cup.
Typical.
Correct.
Now, coming out of that, at the senior men's FIFA senior World Cup, there are CONCACAF major tournaments that go on more often than the FIFA World Cup.
Right.
The CONCACAF Champion League. So and a lot of people watch the UEFA Champion League, but CONCACAF has this version as well.
Yeah.
CONCACAF Gold Cup, which is the most premier tournament in the CONCACAF region.
Right.
And then there are other youth tournaments and these things as well. And there are and have been over the years represented from the Caribbean and Trinidad. But for some reason, it evades the media attention.
It does.
you don't know about it,
Hmm.
and until somebody like me probably bring it up,
Yeah.
and it's probably not a good thing. It makes it look like we have not been trying or working. But I can guarantee we have been trying and working.
Mhm.
It is, as you say, probably a uphill battle where the powers that be the most dominant powers in football start with UEFA, and then
Mhm.
within CONCACAF you have the North Americans. I mean, their level of football is so much higher that referees tend to come out of that better off.
Okay. And experience
And it
wise.
could be it could be anything. I just saying it as it is,
Mhm.
but it could be resources, it could be the level of football, and or it could be an attitude as well. And my aim is probably to look past all that and do what I have to do to be selected. And to be selected, you just have to be one of the best. So my
So
aim was
how does that work? How does that work on the other side of it? So I think was it last season or something? There was a lot of, I think, the Athletic for Premier League referees. They kind of reveal how there's all this complicated scoring and rating and stuff for
PM
the
goal.
The pick
selection and relegation.
that saying, yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does it work now?
So
And
there is as you say, complicated scoring. Every game you do, there should or there is a person who looks at the game and gives a score. That person, as we call it, is the assessor. In UEFA, I think they call it the observer. And each referee is rated. The referee, the assistant referee, the fourth official, on their performance, and it goes up and down depending on various factors. The difficulty of the game is one major factor. Accurate decisions, how much correct, how much incorrect, and difficult decisions. If you made a correct decision and it was difficult, you get high rating.
Right.
Or if you make a incorrect decision and it somehow affects the outcome of the game, then you get lower ratings.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
And over
There's a
time,
real
you
pressure here,
make
man.
scores, your average, and you could get a sense as to a ranking of who are the better or more qualified referees.
Right.
So is it similar to like how on the playing side, how different competitions have higher ratings and that? So like because you're in CONCACAF, your good score is actually worth less than a good score from a referee.
Weighted
And
less. Don't say woodless.
yeah,
Say weighted less.
well, I'm saying, yeah.
Across the federations, I won't say that because each confederation has its own refereeing unit, and
Okay.
they have their own way of ranking their referees.
Okay, yes, yes.
But within the confederation, let's say you're doing a CONCACAF Gold Cup game as opposed to under 20 game.
Yeah.
If someone performs excellent in a Gold Cup, they will tend to rank them higher than someone who just performing excellent in a under 20 or youth level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they could also use that and probably say, this referee is good, let's try him. He's ready for a higher level, let's move him up and see how he performs here. So
Because
it's
one of these,
a big practice.
because one of the criteria you said was how difficult the game is, and I wasn't sure what you mean by how difficult the game is. How do you assess what is a difficult game?
Difficult games, well, yes, you do look at the quality of the game if it's a Gold Cup finals or
Yeah,
quarterfinals or anything. They tend to be more difficult. Also, the amount of decisions to make generally when two close teams play each other, they tend to have a lot of decisions going back and forth. And if you have more decisions to make, and just not just more decisions, but more difficult decisions.
yeah, right, yeah.
But like for offside, real tight ones that or real complicated decisions. For penalty, real decision that has small details, but somehow the referee managed to pick it up and get
Right.
it. Those are the tough calls they're looking to make. And they value a lot of things like penalty, red cards, offside that leads or disallows goals. So those things will have higher rating than just a regular foul in the middle of the field or offside in the midfield. So they have ways of assessing it. I'm just
Not
speaking from
privy to it.
how I see it,
Yeah.
but they have their way of analyzing those things.
So
I
let
am
me
not
ask.
You
Let
are
me
an
ask
SSC.
our referee or our assistant referee score might be affected with the presence of VAR.
Mm.
Because parallax error, you might genuinely, it's difficult for you to pick all those things up, and then somebody now, with the benefit of multiple camera views, say, nah, boy, you're wrong.
Yeah,
But
so
understand, so how VAR ties into that.
so now this is all assessment assessor criteria, which as I said, I'm not
You're not really qualified to speak
but
about it.
I am aware because I have experience and I know with VR and as you mentioned, difficult decisions. So one of the reasons they brought VR was to pick up on these difficult or hard to see decisions. And you have to have some kind of appreciation that sometimes some decisions aren't easy, and if a referee does get it, he deserves full credit.
Yeah, full credit.
Doesn't get it, maybe he might get a little licks, but it's important with VR now that a referee can go and review his decision and come out with the correct decision.
Right.
On top of all that. So it does add an element to it, and it's something to consider. I know that for a fact it's being considered.
So as you segue into this here a little bit, so over the years you've been in the game a long time. How did you find the transition of VAR coming into it, and kind of just how it has changed perception of referees and referees taking decisions and being brave taking decisions and all this sort of stuff? Like how has it changed from your perspective actually doing the job?
So, well, VAR is new to me in the sense that I've been working with it for 2 years, since 2019. That's more than 2 years.
We don't count 20, COVID 20. We don't count that.
But the thing with VAR, it does add this element, that where the referees has to still make the decision on the field.
Right.
Referee is still refereeing as he will have done in the past. We try to referee as if VAR is not there. VAR is just there as a support in case, it's like a safety net in case, a very difficult decision, and it has to be difficult and what they term as controversial or critical. Sorry.
Okay. That better would, yeah.
Controversial has negative tones, but I think they're critical because critical means it leading to a goal. It leading to a red card. Somebody gonna get sent off. It leading to a penalty, which more than likely leads to a goal. So those are the critical decisions that VR is set up as a safety net to support.
Right, correct.
Like the catcher when you slip and fall a bit. One other thing that they do right now is also mistaken identities. So if the referee happen to show yellow card to the wrong player, VAR can intervene and say.
Right.
Who was that again? Was say Clichy and who?
Circa Chelsea, Arsenal, that was 2000 boy.
Yeah.
That was Clichy and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Clichy, Gibbs and Oxlade.
So let me ask this question, right? No, to me, my perception of VAR is like this. If you are tasked with making a decision on the field and they say, hey, I feel you should check that over. To me, that automatically puts a shadow of doubt in the on-field referee's mind now, like, nah, boy, like, I guess something wrong. You know, so he more likely to overturn the decision that he made
Nah, he
from the
just
time he has
making
to go and
sure,
check.
boy. He just making
So
sure.
is that perception correct, or what are you saying in terms of that?
I mean, from the psychological perspective, you are onto something, but the referee has to open his mind and be clear because he made a decision that he saw.
Right.
But yeah, somebody's telling you is they recommend you look this over.
Right.
Now, the person behind the VAR is a human as well.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So they may recommend something, and the referee could come and watch it with an open mind and say, I see what you're trying to show me, but I am still
Correct.
sticking with my decision.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the referee
Understood.
still has that final decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have a lot of protocols to follow. It'll be a long list of things, but generally it does open this question as to, did I get that wrong? You know,
Mm-hmm.
but the main thing about the decision like these in VAR that they implement is something that the referee didn't see. Maybe the referee saw a contact with a foot and say, oh, that was foot on the toe. And then the VAR saying, no, that was on the ankle or that was on the Achilles. So now I have a
Right.
picture of evidence now that I can show this referee and say, all right, so you said it was on the foot, but look at it. It's now on the ankle. It's actually worse than it was. So
Right.
I mean, 20, 30 meters away.
and the words they use,
Seconds.
they actually use suggestive words, not fact words. They don't say this is a record. They say it's possible that
Right.
this is this, and we have a list of criteria that we
Yeah,
evaluate.
normally that's about that. If there's like say certain chapters in the game or something in the laws.
So all these things
That's
in
a
the
whole
laws, but
chapter.
then all these things in the laws, and then referees actually trained to look at considerations. So they don't just say they don't just say red card. They say this is a red card because he came with a certain amount of force, he came with a certain amount of intensity, the point of contact was a certain place, and when you add all those pieces of the puzzle together, you come up with a picture red card.
Understood.
All right.
Understood. All right. So let me
And yet still, the referee is not like right. People think the referees and them just out here playing games and anyway.
Nah, it's a hard work, way. That's a hard work.
Definitely.
But I mean, sometimes like this evening, I saw a goal allowed for Trinidad and Tobago. To see handball, but
U20 or?
Yeah, I didn't see any handball. It looked like it hit like about here, right? They take a while. VAR was supposed to be looking at it, and then they just continue the game. And I like, but you see that playing as they in the replay, TV replay, it wasn't hand. So, I mean, it's a difficult job. I know you'll never please everybody. I agree with that. I understand that, but you'd expect things like that, in my view, to be done with a better degree of accuracy.
Yeah, it's all a work in progress. I mean, you don't get 100%, but our aim is to improve every year.
Okay.
For sure.
Do you see any kind of like other technological improvements coming to make the job of the referee easier? Because like we see how goal line technology has worked really, really well. I think that hasn't been like a shadow hanging over the game. You think like they might reach the stage, I don't know, like having AI for offside calls. I don't know, but like what other technology are aware of that in terms of improvements?
Right now, in last year in the Club World Cup, and I think they're going to use it in the World Cup, they have a automated offside simulation, which basically it says it draws a picture of all the players on the field and measures that precise moment when that ball is played, and gives a yes or no as to offside or not. And it also gives an animation too. So that could probably help when it has some really tricky ones. They could actually show like how they do in cricket, animation of the
for Hawkeye and all that
thing, and then show a line and draw a line and basically say so and so. So that is the a new thing that they're coming with. But some things, as you mentioned, goal line technology doesn't have a shadow, and I could probably speculate as to why that is. The goal line technology is a very black and white decision. Have a spherical ball and a straight line. If this whole sphere of that ball crosses that line, you have a goal. And that is like mathematical. You know? Anybody could drop out an equation and say goal or no goal.
Right.
When it comes to other things, including offside, I know people think offside is black and white, but offside has body parts. Offside has moving players, moving balls, moving
gate,
all kind of craziness.
Raheem still in.
People touching the ball. People touching the ball without definite touch. People slightly touching the ball. Also, it have a lot of factors involved in offside. And for yellow cards and red cards, because even among referees, we have debates, you know, where is this red, is this yellow? We have a concept called orange now, where it's in between red and yellow. But you know, a lot of times we try to give benefit of the doubt. If it's orange, we say it's yellow. If it's real type offside, and speaking from my experience, I know it have sometimes where you see real type and they still give offside. But if it's real type offside, you keep your flag down, you say no offside. So you have some benefits of doubt that you do give the game as well.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned that in the earlier personal debates, well, not personal, it's professional, but like, you know, or field debates, they had the concept of the orange card and all that. Like in terms of suggestions for innovations in terms of discipline, do referees have the purview to like make suggestions for things like these? Like you say for ice hockey, you have like, you know, you have a sin bin, you go and you cool out, or like, you know, like that red card, that man from Arsenal got within seconds of each other when, you know, things like that. If a man he wilding up a little bit, you put him to cool off for a little bit, right? And change the complexion of the game. You think it has any merit in that, or that is not something that we should touch?
Well, the way football is set up, you have the referees who have the rules, who have the understanding the rules, and who apply the rules. But in terms of disciplinary, we don't do anything on that. After the game, they go before a committee and they have a committee for disciplinary, and they actually review and handle punishments after the game. During the game, there have been talks about sin bins and these things that you see in other sports. They have experiments, and until the lawmakers see it fit to put us in bin and take a timeout. Right now, all we have our personality, the way we talk to the players, and then we have the yellow and the red cards.
As I say personality, how you describe yourself as a referee? Like you let contact run through, because I know it have a man, I go call no names, no blood, no foul, that's how you see it.
It's Andre.
Yeah, that's that. You know, it has some men that have different perspectives on what they would allow as a ref. How you would describe yourself as a referee?
You know, every referee is different. Every referee have their own personality too. So, some referees, and depending on your personality, you tend to see those referees flourish into the top, because some referees have what is called football understanding. They understand football to a degree that they know what the people expect to see, what the fans expect to see, and they still work within the
rules.
For me, I have certain philosophies. Football is a contact sport. Not every contact is a foul. So every time you see somebody touch somebody, you know, some people were ref. You touched me.
There was contact.
I could live with that.
And then you see players, you know, and all these things probably stem from misunderstanding and probably lack of communication or understanding. There's also a philosophy with you know, the ball. I play the ball, but if you play the ball, you're brutalized.
Yeah.
So playing the ball is not absolute.
No, so it have no absolute, as you say. You know, it have no rules that say if I play the ball first, then kick the
ball. Well, ref, I get the ball, ref.
Get the ball, but
follow
deserves
through was terrible.
punishment that it's not no foul anymore. It now might be card or just a free kick or maybe a red card.
With Zoade, I'm bringing up that I just pretend that meme where you say some understand the game and some, let it play more. One looking at the mountain, IQ high. One looking out the window, he had a dog in him, boy. He had no contact. I prefer, referees allow people to mix it up, shoulder charge might get away what is the ball within our range, even though it's not in the rules, you understand? I like that kind of.
It depends on
the top three things the referee had to evaluate and on top of all this safety of the players. So that is number one. If
right.
The player is damaging or injuring somebody, you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Equality, you have to look at fairness. And everybody has a right to play the ball. But if you play the ball in a certain way, then that's something.
Yeah, but just a pop in that. Why Casemiro don't get yellow cards? I'm just joking. He always seem to evade it. I don't know how why.
I think Casemiro was a ref. So he know exactly what range he had to deal with it.
Casemiro was a ref.
I think he was a ref.
I'm joking. Sorry, you're not killing. Go ahead.
And the last one is enjoyment. You have to ensure that people enjoy the game. We have to only intervene when it's necessary. Let football play. If football is playing beautifully and well, let football play. But if something happened that is not fair or not safe, then we have to intervene and deal with that.
Are you so you see some referees, I've heard of players saying some referees just give real talk. Like referees have real plenty of things to say, they'll get your back pong and thing and whatever. Are you a referee that is very communicative? are you ponging men back? Or like that kind of thing? Like what is your style?
But if you know me off the field, I don't talk much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like me, I think we might both talk. But on the field, I don't talk much. I only try to intervene if I need to. If some situation is getting really bad, I have to raise my voice, and that helps. Then I raise my voice. Say, hey, what are you doing there? No? Getting the player face because they want to get on each other, but you need to show them, I still watching, no?
Yeah.
And talking about that, like as a CONCACAF referee, is there a requirement to be bilingual or have at least a working understanding of different languages they might come across?
Now, there haven't been an official requirement. So there are referees who are not bilingual, but it is so important that they're almost making it a requirement now. To the point that every referee is encouraged, and to the point where they might suggest it, and then eventually they'll be like, you have to do
it.
Yeah.
One thing CONCACAF has forced is English requirement. Because in FIFA and all world tournaments, they generally conduct seminars and training and football in English. That's the number one language.
Okay.
Right.
But for English speakers like myself, or not native English speakers, it's encouraged to learn a second language. And for me, my second language I'm learning right now is Spanish, as we are within the CONCACAF region.
For sure.
That's
You learn Spanish in CIC, man? You learn Spanish in CIC?
I did it. And I spent some years on it.
It's like a flash, it's like a memory, a flash drive. You just have to clear up some stuff to
Who was his Spanish teacher?
If you don't use it, you lose it. Miss Salazar.
Miss Salazar shaking her head somewhere now, but
I don't know, I do that, bro. I better than I was in school. So
let me ask this question, right? Is it a matter of a man, not necessarily what he sees, but how he sees it, right? Because unless you have a working understanding of the possible profanities, insults, cussing, whatever.
Just Suarez in the top. Just Suarez in the top.
Understand? A man could come in a real, gentle way, say something in a tongue unknown to you. Are you really cussing the man, Franco man, in front of you, and you can't pick it up because he give like You know, he said it.
Yeah. I'm sure it happens. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Happens all the time.
it happens all the time. If you look at I don't know if you ever hear the microphone slip in English football. When you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
EPL.
Every time, even last
Yeah,
night with Angus Eve.
Go see boy. Watch me. Monday.
Yeah, he has
Strong
a lot of
personality.
so, but
Yeah.
yeah,
You're a strong
Yeah,
personality.
watch me. Angus cost that full first half though.
Yeah.
and the mic was right there.
And you hear them clear though.
But yeah, so obscenities pass, passion is felt. So and the way people like exhibit passion sometimes include a little profanity, and you have to kind of understand that once you don't try to bring the game into disrepute, once you don't abuse the referee in a way, you just be careful with. As you say, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I could tell a man, but you know, in a real friendly
And in a polite way, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He might
how
politely respond, you know.
Yeah. Boy, what
Oh
you
God!
I got
Shake
it,
hands
man.
after and then.
Yeah, shake hands
You
after.
can imagine that Trini telling her free.
Is it difference between
And
Cavani?
laughing.
Is the difference between Suarez and Cavani? Suarez and Cavani, right?
Well, both
Both
of
of
them
them
get
said the same thing.
suspended.
But
Yeah,
one of them was like, "Is an endearment." Yeah.
Yeah, I go tell you
It's
that.
to understand different cultures, right? So you know,
Yeah, for sure.
say things. It might sound offensive to you, but they mean it in a certain way.
I go tell you go buy FT4 fan.
But Caleb, after the Fed matches, not the Fed match, the zonal, right? You're playing around where's the man leave you half time and say, take over. You're good, right? Yeah. You good. What was the next jump after zonal?
After zonal, they have I'll call it a semi-pro league. So Trinidad tiers right now, or before COVID, because we haven't had
Yeah.
proper football
Understood.
since then. Right now we have a league running called Ascension League, but that's not
Ascension,
that's not the professional official league.
Yeah, correct.
My knowledge.
Yeah, correct.
So the tiers that was set up was the Pro League, which is the highest league. Winners of that get to play in the Champion League and those things.
Right.
The second level was Super League, which is like a semi-pro league.
Right.
I guess that will have been the next big jump.
Okay.
After zonal level. I mean, China really doesn't have much options because when they look at other countries, they have like 5, 10 divisions that you have to climb up. For us, there's only that 3 step, but you know, it's a big jump if you want to get from zonal to international. So whatever it takes to get to that jump, then it might take a lot of doing, but you have to get there if you want to move on.
So in terms of building your profile though, to be able to make that jump, is it like you have to be able to be active or seen active at the highest level in your country's league before you probably get a chance to officiate in a CONCACAF tournament? Or what helps you make that jump?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You have to be active at your level to be seen. So I'm not sure the exact requirements, but I believe you have to be active in the top level of your country for 2 years, I believe. Okay. Plus, you have to have a certain grading and ranking and these things.
Okay.
And once the local instructors and assessors see you're ready for a higher level, they can recommend you to move on to the next level, which is international. Right now, they have a level in between FIFA and the countries. Is like a CONCACAF badge where
regional,
where if you have qualities as a perspective, they can award you with a badge until you're ready to make that jump up to an international badge.
All right.
But you mentioned, so you say active there. So, I mean, how much of that is in your control? So you perform well in a game, you get good scores and things like that. But how do you control? I'm saying control, right? But what can you do to just increase your chances of being put in better games and things like that, etc., etc.
You can't control it.
I got nothing.
So if a man don't like you,
what my
Swade,
philosophy is,
behave now, Swade.
well, I'm just asking.
Behave now, boy. No, Swade, no.
Then you say a man,
Swade,
remember you
no.
fit match game and
Swade, no.
the game
Swade,
real problem with
no.
the ref, you say.
Swade,
I
no,
just asking
boy.
you, I just
No,
asking.
boy, no.
fix your attitude, fix your professionalism.
Yeah.
But my philosophy over the years was be so good they can't reject you.
Ignore
So,
you. Yeah.
once you're good
I
enough,
like that.
they can't say no to you and say, hey, you can't go. If you're good enough, if you're not good enough, then they have every right to tell you,
Yeah.
take your time, do
I like
these
that.
games.
You have any access to your scores? So like, you're aware of your rating?
Yeah, at the end of every game, you show. No, times have changed. I have been refereeing 16 years, and times have changed. So I could honestly say back in the days, the scores weren't revealed to you,
Okay.
or if they were revealed to you, it'll take long and these things. But now with the advent of technology, after every game, you're meeting with your assessor 2 days after. He tell you how you did, what you can improve on, and then you get a report in the email, and that helps with transparency. So now you have your scores that you get after every game, or as much as possible. I mean, some games still you might never get it, or you might get it really late, but almost every game now I get a score to my game, so I can know, hey, I can improve on this, or I've done this well.
That's
Can you push back? Does a referee have the ability to say, nah, this score in here is garbage?
Well, I have my thing on this. I have never done it per se, because I accept every feedback as feedback. If someone tells me I did garbage and I think I did great, I have to bridge that gap. I have to say, well, maybe he's onto something, or maybe I did everything right and I can be stuck in a way. Now, if I keep getting on, if I keep getting told I'm doing garbage, then I know something is wrong. But if it's just a one-off, maybe I did have just a bad day. So those feedback is what it is. It's feedback. It's not really, it's not really
Definition of who you are.
And another definition for who you are, as we said. So you have to accept that, and I will encourage people to accept it and learn from it. Pick sense from nonsense and move on. But if you want to push back and argue and say, well, this is definitely what the score I should get, then you have all right. You have all right to do it, but just know that if it's not justified, you might.
And then a man might keep you in mind, and
you might bring a bridge a little bit.
But
hold on. I'm gonna ask two last questions there. Two last questions there, right, for a second. So, all right, you mentioned earlier something about nomination, so I find that interesting. So, who does the nominating? And then how does that work? And then the other thing is, so these assessors, how do you qualify to be an assessor? You have to be a former referee of a certain level of experience, etc., etc.
Similar to, let me answer the second one. Similar to referees, the assessors have assessor course. It is helpful that you have experience as a referee. In fact, it is probably recommended that they have experience as a referee to be an assessor. Because
I could be vexed if a man assessing me and I never referee.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
I just that's just what it is. It is what it is. You should have experience as a referee. Remind me the first question again.
Being nominated to represent.
Right.
Yeah.
So who does it? The referees department are so in Trinidad and Tobago, with the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. The referee department of the Football Association, and this is a yearly process. Every year they have to nominate who they think should be on the international list. The nomination mean I send them this name, and then they review the names and they review their records, and they then select so and so will be international referees for the year. So it's a yearly process from the first of the year to the end of the year. The way it's done is based on good standing. If you're a good standing with the referee department, if you're active, if you've done high level games, and good assessments.
Right.
And the most important thing is a fitness test. They have a fitness test at least once a year. We do it more than once. We do like the same 15 the interval run around a track 10 times.
Yeah.
Plus that's just one aspect. It's sprints and
Yeah.
assistant referees is a change of direction and every now and then the test is changing, but that's what the test is now. But you have to do that to be an international referee. It's also a requirement to officiate in top level games. So, I mean, there are different
accreditation in order.
There's levels for female games. There's levels for national games. There's levels for international games. So,
okay.
There's different levels of games.
Caleb, do you try to win the what can I call it? The beep test, the shuttles? You're trying to come first. They bring out that athlete in here.
I have to accept that it's not a competition.
Okay.
I do what is required.
Right.
But you can over try and end up with some more. But outside of that, the test is just an evaluation to see where you're at.
Okay.
You should be able to comfortably pass it for your level.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of referees forget, and they don't pass. And when they don't pass, they get liquor.
Serious.
So you have
It's like your one chance.
Your one job is fitness test.
Okay.
One chance. Maybe they get option a couple months on.
A reset.
Maybe a reset, but yeah, it's something you have to be doing year long. You have to be always fit.
Okay.
I mean, injuries happen, and these things are unavoidable. But
yeah, for sure.
When it does happen, you protect yourself. You recover. You link with fitness coaches to help develop this level of fitness that you can handle the highest level game that they assign you to.
Okay. So does it mean your lifestyle has to be? So I mean, you have to eat different and things like that too, for real?
I mean, we're athletes. I mean, we're not Cristiano Ronaldo athletes, but we're the ones who have to catch him on the field.
Yeah.
We have to be, doing the proper things that athletes do: rest properly, eat properly, train adequately, and do the things that are required of you.
Does FIFA provide if somebody gets hurt, do they provide like physio or things like that?
Yeah, they generally do. I mean, when I go on tournaments, they have a massage therapist, physio, these people to assist.
Okay.
So it's something that it's part of the resources and obviously money you have to spend, but it's something that is.
If you're the standard, you have to maintain that.
Physio, massage therapist, fitness coach, and these things. I mean, whatever support you need, you reach out to your federation, your association, and they will try their best to help.
Which reminds me of this question. I mean, it may not always be likely or possible in our context in Trinidad and Tobago, but like internationally, like in Europe, etc. Is it possible to be like a full-time career referee, meaning that is your only job? And does it work like that, or is this like something like hey boy, you are a game running, or you put it as you work it around your actual job? How does that work?
Well, this is a correct question because it's only possible if you're paid enough to meet your expenses. And maybe in Trinidad they don't have that capability yet. But I believe in America, Mexico, and over Canada, because they're part of the MLS. They have what is called professional referees.
Okay.
These are contracted referees who have a salary and certain rules they have to follow, and they're contracted by the referees body, and that comes then like a full. It could be a full-time job. It's a full-time, and then it's a part-time, and then the rest will be more temporary. So it's like you are referees, but you still have your daytime job or your business or whatever you're doing. So.
Yeah, because I think the English referees, a lot of them were part-time, like how there was a police and etc.
Yeah, because I had a lecturer, he said he was a ref in England, right? And he said you could come and argue your exam score with me. I accustomed with people disagree with me all the time, you know, and I was like, okay, so this is not necessarily some full-time. So this is leading to the next question.
But hold on. So if your job deny you time off during World Cup, buddy.
That was my question. How you that, man? They say, like, for example, somebody should tell call, yo, Caleb, what you doing so time, boy? You're under 20s, you're to sure. I mean, it might not happen like that officially. But right? Let me go and see. Let me go and talk to my manager. Let me go and see if how much vacation I could put
World
in
Cup?
them kind of thing. You understand?
Right.
How that has work balancing the two?
No, this is personal because this is my story.
Yeah.
This is my story. No, my history is I used to work for the government. And they did afford me time off, and it did reach a point, you know, they'll give me the time off, but it will have been like no pay.
Yeah.
I was happy to do it because I was pursuing my dream and passion of being a worker.
Right.
To the point where I was eventually starting to travel almost every month, every 2 weeks.
Right.
The dream, bro.
It did put a lot of strain and pressure. It did put a lot of strain and pressure on me.
Yeah.
So in 2019, just before the pandemic, I left my job at MTI.
Serious.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
But it is what it is. I mean, I had this dream because my dream is to, and I'm doing good enough that I'm traveling every now and then. And when you travel, they pay you in adequately. They take care of everything, so I don't have to worry about food, accommodation.
Right.
So I took that decision to pursue it. Right now, I'm not employed outside of refereeing.
Okay.
So you can say I'm a full-time referee right now, but I am looking at options, maybe something flexible that maybe
allow you
that will allow me that freedom to travel. But this year, 2022, as I'm nominated for World Cup, this is my primary focus. I'm gonna work on that, and then you see where the future take me after that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So let me ask this question. I was worried about me being particularly a referee. How there's ever reached a stage where you had to really consciously decide to suppress the fanboy and you're like, oh, it's Messi right there on the line, dog. That is Messi. You know? How you deal with that?
But me, I reflect neutrality. To be honest, I do support clubs, and I still do, but I don't publicly express it.
So when you get people on online debate and things like that too, because they could use that against you. Yeah, right.
Now you have a burner account
That's
like
what the burner for. That's what the burner for.
Kevin, yeah, you have a Kevin Durant going on.
I don't raps. I don't. No, I can say that because I've been there, but I try to put myself out it. I know a lot of people keep asking me, you know, who's the team? I always say referees.
That's a great answer, bro.
Because that's my alignment now. But like speaking about other referees, and then EPL, it have referees who are publicly supporting a team, and they try not to appoint them to those teams.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So wait,
sounds good.
Let me ask this question now. That ranking scoring system that you mentioned, right? How much could it swing, like in a major tournament like the World Cup? Like, let's say for example, the ones that maybe the preferred referees are from a country that would be participating in a game, or their country might benefit from the result happening in a particular way. How dynamic is it? Could it be like, well, boy, you get the group stages and then we need you to stay for the knockouts? You know, how does it work?
Well, again, this is out of my hand, out of my territory. I just know that for one, they maintain neutrality when appointing referees.
Yeah.
So if like it's a referee from a country and that country is in the tournament, they try not to put them in that group or that game.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be in real work, boy.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
At that point, for the past 2 Gold Cups, I have been on finals and semi-finals.
Yeah, you supposed to have real work. You supposed to be in the finals one time.
You know, when I watching my team play, when I watch Trinidad Tobago play, you know, I'm always going, yes, let's go Trinidad, you know.
Yeah.
But when they lose, you know, I'm sad for a moment, and then
It's like it working out.
More options for me because you know I cry for a bit and then I move on. So now it's my time to work because the USA and Mexico and the Canada and the teams they go to the top. So now is my chance, my opportunity to squeeze it. So it's a little politics in that, but as I said,
bittersweet.
The base thing is once you good enough. The only thing that will keep you back is obviously neutrality of referees and
you try to be as neutral as possible.
And things that you can control, like the way you perform, the way your attitude and these things.
So I have seen of late, I mean, depending on the context, fet match. In some instances, it wasn't so much a fet match, but you're seeing like refs taking pictures with players and thing after and them kind of thing. What's your thoughts on that?
As a referee, I would not recommend it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you in the source, you meeting all these high-profile players.
Exactly.
What's the point traveling if you're not
what?
IG?
You're not travel again, Sorry.
No, I mean, asking it's difficult to balance, I think, you know.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
It's not recommended to take a pick with a player because that will leak and
yes.
the internet is
undefeated.
Nah, but you know what you could do? You could get him on a card. The media will take the picture, you must find the picture after.
Well, that's one way too. That's one way.
Sorry, what?
But I have to be careful and say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I understand.
I remember talking. We had a big debate about that, and for me, it was just don't. It's best you don't do it. Just don't.
Nah, don't do it. The perception will be real bad.
Yeah, perception
will outweigh reality.
For sure.
The perceived bias of taking a pic with a player is always something you want to avoid.
Fire for them.
Nah,
that's the one time I get to see Messi, boy.
You wicked. As we wrap up, I just want to ask you about like the more feisty games you've been in, maybe Mexico, USA.
What game you always remember?
That game was.
Well, no, ask the same regular highs and lows questions, same thing.
No, I mean it's gonna be a little different because I mean I get you score from it, but based on that, what game you always remember?
The USA Mexico game in Nation League 2021.
Yeah, that was lit.
I would always remember.
That was lit.
Honestly, I think it was about 3 hours long, the game.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
It was crazy. It had added on time and stuff like that.
Was that the one who scored in the last minute?
What was the score?
Was that the one that Pulisic scored in like the last minute or something?
Yeah, I think it was USA won in extra time.
Extra time, yeah. That game was crazy, boy.
It was crazy. I love
high quality.
A lot of penalties, misses.
Yeah, a lot of pace too. How you held up for the 3 hours?
I mean, it's what we train for. So,
Yeah,
and
Right.
I enjoy myself for that game. So I always
Nice.
remember it.
Yeah.
It had a lot of confrontations and these things.
Yes.
So I come on the field and try and help, but it's just one game that will
Yeah.
live on in my memory because of that length of time and all the thing.
And you taller than most players, right?
I am as tall as most players. Some players are very tall.
Yeah.
So I am as tall as some of the tallest players. But is yeah, I'm usually the tallest person.
Yeah, nobody come in and bully you and thing like that, you know? Yeah.
Although I did meet a Brazilian referee in Paraguay recently, and he was taller than me.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
on this side of the world,
yeah,
I'm
you're
the
winning. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
winning. When you go international, it's all
They
different.
go international, the whole when they go Europe and South America,
Yeah.
you become tall people.
What you'll say is like the low. What has been a career low, you would think? Like a bad moment.
And I guess it will be coming up. There was a time where I wasn't appointed for a very long time.
Mm.
It seems like a low, but I saw it as a time of reflection and trying to bounce back and come back stronger. So
Mm.
every career, has its ups and lows.
Yep.
Even 2020, the pandemic,
Yep.
when there was a travel ban and I couldn't leave the country and
Mm.
all kind of stuff was going on around that. It was a low because there's no football for
Right.
me for a long time.
Nothing locally. Himself to keep sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of things are just going on. You feel down, you feel depressed, but you have to realize it's just temporary. And I think because of that, I was able to work a little harder, work a little smarter, and I would have come out better because of it. Coming out, and now I'm back on the roll. So
Yeah,
So
that good.
so you're gonna be in the World Cup. Do you know already which games and thing, or that's not how it is work?
no, I wouldn't know until closer to the day.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense though, because less easily.
Yep.
Yeah, you could guess like somebody could come and
And
hey,
if I know, I
you're
might
going
I
on.
might not have the privilege to say.
Yeah. You won't want to compromise the integrity of the competition. Yeah.
Until they publish it, I can't say anything.
So let me ask this question.
I was gonna say, what was it like getting the news though? Like that was
Yeah. How
tears
that news just
in your
happened?
eye, or tears in your father eye, like
It was exciting. I wanted to scream and
So they call you direct, they send you an email, they send it to the
honestly,
federation, and the federation
I
call
find
you.
out
How does it work?
the same time most people find out because
We find out news.
I find out on news. I got WhatsApp messages.
Serious?
You see this? I'm like, what?
You serious?
Then I get messages from people within CONCACAF.
Yeah.
And then we so it don't always work like this usually before. But I think because of the pandemic, a lot of things are being rushed and hustled. And the way we found out was only the same way everybody found out on the internet.
Wow.
You get the news and we're like, okay, we celebrate a little bit and it was like, all right, time to work because we have a seminar. We had a seminar in Paraguay like the week after, 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
So you had a single. You couldn't have full doubles. You had a little bar and a little gun. That was it. That was it. Ah,
Yeah. I hope you get all the doubles in before now because
So let me ask this question: like for a tournament like the World Cup, are you retained for the entire duration for the World Cup, but not necessarily like set that you doing this game, you doing this game?
Well, out of my territory, but speaking from tournaments in the past, you will come, all the referees will come to the beginning. They come like 2 weeks before, maybe have another seminar, have preparation, some talk, some lessons, some clips. these things, some more training, and then usually with the group stage, all the referees are working, and then for knockouts, they may send, because they don't need as much all the referees, they send home some. So they usually call those things cuts, and your aim is to make it as long as possible. So it'd be nice if I can make at least one cut, but it's out of my hands.
Yes, it goes.
You can only do your best, bro.
So you mentioned something in 2002, no 2002, sorry, where like the referee had an assistant referee, like a designated assistant. Do you all like establish set teams to work matches with, or is it like they randomly put it in a brand top or something?
Yes. How it has worked for as long as I can remember, the referees operate in trios. A referee and 2 assistant referees. Typically, the referee and 2 assistant referees are from the same country, but my trio is a mix of countries. My referee is Guatemalan. The other assistant referees are Costa Rican. So the 3 of us are one trio, and we operate as a team.
Okay.
Nice.
You talk Spanish with them?
You talking Spanish to them, have to.
Talk a little Spanish.
He learning it. I'm telling you, he learning it. So I mean, that trio wouldn't change as such.
It wouldn't change unless
that was self-selected, or that is how CONCACAF group you all together.
CONCACAF will have done the pairing.
Okay.
So if the put us up as that.
So if the actual the referee have a terrible game, everybody party done then.
Yeah, basically, it's a team. So we have to work as a team, and we support each other, encourage each other to do their best.
All right, understood.
You ever catch cramp in a game or?
No, I haven't catch cramp in a game, but there were times where you realize you're getting some fatigue, but if you train properly, you don't get these things. If you prepare properly as well, if you hydrate, you eat properly.
I feel like I start seeing that more in the last decade. Like I don't remember seeing that in football before, but then now I start to see it now. I see linesman down on the side there, boy. Yeah.
This is why fitness is so important, because as a player, you have a sub.
Yeah.
You catch cramp, you can sub him up, but referee, they don't have a sub. So it's important for the referee to maintain a high level of fitness for that reason, so that they can last 90 minutes plus how much ever.
3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours. You can last as much as 3 hours in our finals.
Yeah, man.
All right.
But I'm really enjoying it though. I really like what I'm hearing. I mean, folks, it's not too late. The people and them need help. They need referees. They need people who love the game. Fitness is a must.
Out.
I'll say something. Since we started the podcast, I don't know about Zoali and Ajay. I have a better appreciation for the referee. I have 2 brethren now, and like a guy who's older than me, who are referees. So you cut referees more slack. You try to see the game from the rule.
It's a very difficult game.
And much more importantly, like I say, we don't highlight when referees go smaller tournament. Maybe we could highlight when any referee get a spot on an international competition. So I think all this is important.
Yeah.
And the input is very important, I think.
My thing, especially with referees, is that I mean, I like to understand the principles behind the decision to understand future applications. I might not always agree with him, but I could understand, okay, that is why he made that call. And I mean, once we consistent, we can vex is often a thankless job, but the reality is it's an important one. So I mean, especially being able to push that far is very commendable in itself.
Very, very commendable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm very happy. I'm very happy for you, bro. Very happy for you, bro. This is it's pretty amazing, pretty awesome.
Dog, no boss man tell me nothing. You come, hey, what we know, FIFA done. I go.
I just talking about the man getting to travel the world.
No, that's what I should you. They cannot stop you
big
from
games, small games, all kind of games. That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's what I tell you. I had to go.
I'm much more. I think what people could get from this is following your dream, making tough decisions, going through the lows, and still coming out
and
at
being
that higher
self-motivated.
Being
self-motivated because especially during that COVID pandemic, it could have been easy for your fitness to slack. It could have been easy for you to kind of fall off the crack, and you're ready and you're firing, and Qatar, we come. You understand?
But I think people. So first, we already know people don't really read the rules of the game in the first place. So that's the laws of the game in the first place, right? So that's one. But then two, you have people who even understand how referees get selected and how they maintain themselves, etc., etc. So there's always this sort of, especially with old timers, though, the conversation is very much about what does referee really know about football. The referee don't understand what he's doing, thing. And then they're using terms basically that just keep pushing people not understanding the laws. So like Caleb talked about there, where, well, he didn't talk about this one, but it's no last man rule. That's not a rule. Stop talking about last man. Right? So it's just really good just hearing some more ins and outs of how it's going in the background and how it's not no boo ball all the time. Nah. It's not always come now. Give people a chance to make a mistake or yeah.
Any so before you go, Caleb, anything you want to say?
Well, I'm glad that I shed some light on refereeing. It's always my aim to encourage more people to join. Hopefully, young people, aspiring young people who looking for an avenue in football. I mean, football is not just only players; there are other avenues. It does require a lot of hard work, determination, fitness, integrity, which is very, very critical, very key.
Neutrality.
Personality, intelligence, is a big package, and it's often overlooked. So I hope that this podcast could spark that for more in the future, maybe, because instead of the media highlighting all the negative about referees, what about some positives, and upcoming referees, and Trinidad is, well, I think the world actually short on referees. So we should be doing something to encourage more referees. So
let me ask, it has any structure in place like the Premier League or Championship? I call it, hey, here now, this year you're performing World Cup and thing. Can't give you a 3 months now, but you're real short. Anything like that possible?
Not a 3 months. Not a short-term contract.
10 days.
In some leagues they might have transfers where people like transfer programs where they may exchange referees and these things. But you have to get permission, and there's a lot of politics, and frankly speaking, England has thousands of referees.
A million,
The ones that you see on EPL are just the cream of the crop. Who waiting for their whole life to get into that EPL.
Correct.
It'd be hard to take away some of these spots, unless for some reason, whatever happens. But I mean, the world of football is not just EPL. We have football in every country, every sphere, every corner of the world, and more important than EPL are the FIFA tournaments, which are the World Cups and the Club World Cups and. Well,
tell Andre that.
I don't see confederations anymore, but they will come up with more tournaments like this. These world tournaments.
So Caleb, on behalf of everybody, just want to thank you for coming on, shedding a spotlight on refereeing, and all the best in Qatar, bro.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all the best, man. Thanks very, very much. I mean, from the time I reached out to you, I was like most willing, and I could see why you're going that far. You're willing to do your best in the game, and I appreciate it very, very much. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
CIC Northman, boy. Yeah, sorry.
Even one not North or CIC. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Right? You know, I mean, look, we just
I don't usually be on that.
impacting the game positively.